Hello, thank you for joining us on our first show, Beyond Beauty. We are here to show you how to let your beauty radiate from within. And we have wonderful guests tonight. I am your host, Marilyn Caesar.
And Yannette Poindexter.
We also have two young ladies that will be speaking on certain topics in beauty. As you join us over the next couple of weeks, we will start from inside and we will actually move outside. We will talk about from hair loss, from nutrition to self-esteem, different fashion tips. All the health and beauty tips that you want will be here. Join us on Beyond Beauty. As for our first guest, we have a wonderful, marvelous young lady by the name of Karen McQueen, and she specializes in health and nutrition. Karen, can you please tell us a little bit about the nutrition and what type of people you work with and what type of things you come across in your field?
I work with an array of different populations because I focus from nutrition inside out. I work with the medical community as well as the cosmetic community, cosmetic meaning just general weight loss, but I take a totality approach to weight loss, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, even financially. I tend to take a core perspective with my clients, and that it's not just beauty outside, it's beauty inside as well. So we start from the inside and we move outward.
Okay, so tell me now, what would be your number one tip for someone? Well, I shouldn't say number one tip, but what would be a tip that you would give someone who is just starting fresh, not really too educational on the nutrition field? How would they get started?
One, lose a lot of the propaganda and start from within. Move slowly and be realistic with your goals. Things do not happen overnight, so do not expect for them to disappear or correct themselves overnight, and just be very realistic in your approach.
Okay. What would you say would be a realistic goal in actually changing your entire eating habits and incorporating good nutritional values?
A realistic approach, I always encourage clients to do not focus on taking basic things out of your nutrition. Leave them all in there. They're there for a reason. Key one, carbohydrates. That's the first one everyone wants to get rid of.
The hardest.
But we need it. We need carbohydrates because they actually are part of what store our water. So they are critical that it's critical that they stay intact, but just reduce them. I like to refer to them as natural and man-made. So stick with the natural carbohydrates and focus on reducing them because the body does need them. It just doesn't need so much of them.
Okay, well, this is excellent. Now, for someone like me, I just started a fast 3 days ago. And I've done great. I went to just straight vegetables and fruit. Now that's pretty drastic. That's what you were talking about, not making a drastic change.
Exactly.
Now the number one thing that you just mentioned was having natural carbohydrates. And give us an example of.
Natural would be your fruits, your vegetables, your rice, your root type vegetables, we call them, like your potatoes and things of that nature. But the body doesn't need so much of them. It needs a variety. And for an example, protein, the body needs it, but it doesn't need as much. It actually needs more carbohydrates than protein.
Oh, really?
That's the misnomer that a lot of people have about balancing and going into their diets, quote unquote.
Okay. So would you say that's for every body type? Does body type play a factor in this, or is this?
It sure does.
Okay.
It sure does. Body types play a lot in it because you have to give respect to the fact that some people carry more body fat than others. Some people carry more lean muscle tissue than others. So that has to be taken into account. And me being a prior service female, I know what it's like to carry a lot of muscle on my frame. So my eating requirements were different. I always share those type of things with clients when they're coming in because they need to understand that those things are critical. And the moment that you erase them, your program probably won't be successful.
Okay.
You're trying to take the body in a direction where it's not accustomed to.
Okay. Now, going back to what you said earlier, what are some examples of man-made carbohydrates?
Oh, let's start with one of our favorites, spaghetti.
Economical.
Pasta, but it's man-made.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm really critical in educating my clients about man-made is because it's the one that we all desire. We like it. We like pasta. I prefer Italian dishes. I love them.
Absolutely.
But it's moderation and it's a discipline. And to be honest with you, when man-made products, from my experience in working with clients for over almost 2 decades now, when I can get them to reduce that and bring more of the natural carbohydrates into their system, their body actually chemically responds differently. So they actually do not desire as much of the man-made.
Wow.
So they are surprised that they're able to do that. And I say, just remember, these were your body's natural functions before it became contaminated, quote unquote.
Okay. Excellent. This is great news. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
My question that's raising in my mind is like, how does like the yo-yo diets and not eating a proper balanced meal affect our hair? Because a lot of people feel like it don't affect our hair.
Oh.
And it does. So I would like for you to like kind of explain to people, the audience out there, how yo-yo diets and stuff could affect our hair and, our outward appearance and everything.
I will piggyback on that a little bit. Everything starts from inside out, as I explained earlier. Everything is about abundance. So your body needs a certain amount of abundance of all the essential vitamins and minerals in order to keep on duplicating the process that it has to do for a lifetime. The moment that that is impaired, then we see less of that production, meaning like we associate it more with aging. Say the average person may associate, around 55, 60, I'm supposed to go gray. Not necessarily. There are some things that are genetic, but there are a slew of things out there going on within the body that are actually self-induced.
Yes.
And
So
self-induced, meaning that we are promoting this from within. The moment that, for instance, January, everyone wants to go to the gym and get those memberships. And a lot of me and my colleagues, we sit back and we laugh because we say, okay, start the clock.
Because by Valentine's.
By Valentine's, at the gym, there's people that you're normally used to seeing in there. You're not going to see them anymore. Right? And that's because it's short-lived. It really is. But when you're focusing from within, you're going to give a lot of attention to the fact that you need a certain amount of nutrients daily to keep on duplicating the process. So, for instance, if you're in there and you're exercising a lot and you're not bringing in a whole lot of, I hate to say calories because I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
You're not bringing in enough nutrients. Calories are kind of just a tag along. But when you focus too much on that versus the nutrients, you lose concentration of the fact that the nutrients is what's promoting that's promoting I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's actually promoting the ability for you to keep going.
Okay.
So if say for instance the graying, if it's not genetic, then you're going to actually see yourself graying earlier than later if you're not preserving yourself at an early date, at an early age. Say like for instance, 25-year-old, they're probably not thinking too much about preservation. but they should be. If they were thinking about, oh, let me bring everything into my system just right, then unless it's something genetic, by the time they're 25 years later in their 50s, they don't look like everyone else. They do look preserved. Their skin is still emollient, It still has a certain elasticity to it because they're paying attention to what actually creates preservation, and that's the nutrition, not just the calorie.
Wow.
But a lot of time in dieting, individuals cut the nutrition when they focus on the calories. They should actually be focusing on the nutrition and not so much on the calories.
And everything will kind of work itself out.
It will work itself out because at the end of the day, the body knows best.
So, key word of advice, listen to your body.
Absolutely.
One other thing that I have to mention, is there any type of vitamins that you would recommend for maybe skin elasticity?
Not so much as a vitamin per se, but some of the engineered, I call them products like collagen, are really good. But again, it's always best to focus on how is collagen, made in the system? How does the body make collagen? Because when you start thinking about the origin, and I'm a big origin person, then you're going to go after doing it the correct way the first time. If you focus too much on the engineered products, all engineered products are not well received by the body. The body will reject if it doesn't want it. So it's best that we really focus on, okay, trying to get it naturally. If we can't get it naturally, then find the best engineered product that you can. Invest. Don't be afraid to spend those dollars on getting a product that some company has really put in their research to create a quality product for you to consume that complements the body and the body receives it. Almost like bio-identical, sometimes we call it in nutrition, meaning that the body receives it as though it had made it itself.
When you say invest, I'm going to interject here. When you
Yes.
say invest in yourself, I kind of had to laugh in my mind because a lot of people would invest in nice cars, nice
Absolutely.
houses, nice clothes. But when it comes to putting good nutrition in our body,
Yes.
we'll go to the dollar menu at McDonald's
Yes.
or, wherever.
You are absolutely right.
And we think, oh, really? I have to spend that much to make sure that I
Yes.
can do this? But they won't think twice about going out and buying, an outfit for the same cost of. You gotta look good on the outside, but not take care of the inside of the body.
No one sees that. No one sees those scars. And it's sad
They see my flashy watch and my jewelry and
exactly. But
so
we
on and
can,
so forth.
and that's one of the sadnesses of my industry over the years is when I have to take on clients and really re-educate them outside of what the masses and the multimedia are saying about what is best for their health. I have to get rid of all those stereotypes and all the things that they're accustomed to believing, and it's hard for them to erase some of those thoughts. Even though they've come by me, I'm highly recommended. They've seen their friends and their coworkers and loved ones be very successful. It's still the psychologics of getting past what you've been told over and over and over again in the magazines, on the TV. So you really do have to. It's a total body transformation, and it begins inside because the things that you have done at some point took place inside. Usually starts with consumption.
Very good. This was very knowledgeable.
And Mary, we don't want you sitting over there in the corner looking, we don't about to put you in this conversation right now.
We have the marvelous, beautiful Mary Peak, and she's actually here to talk about hair loss. I know that it's the biggest thing in today's world. I mean, it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter if you're a man or female. The number one thing is hair loss. How can we preserve that? Mary, tell us a little about what you do.
Okay.